Good morning, Rabboisai. Liluy nishmas Mordechai. Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Josh Wilk.
From?
Passaic.
Josh Wilk from Passaic. You're not we met already? Wow, okay. Everybody's one. The Magichir that's making coffee in the back. What's your name, Tzaddik?
Kozlovsky, label.
Leva Kozlovsky from? Flatbush. 5 cycles? How many cycles did you give here? Wow. It's a grosses chos. Who else? Who's new here? Oh, you were here last night. What's your name again? Strauss? What's your name? Kraus. You sent us you're the guy on the bike or something? That's not. Somebody sent in. You're a biker. You did the daf at 5:30 in the morning. That's what the email said back then. Givalde. Okay, who else? Oh, Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Osher Klein from? Is this original name? Yes. Those I can handle. These other, from where? North Woodmere. Love that place. Givaldic. Okay. He's not new. He's been, I recognize. Dear Rebelli, thank you so much. I heard your last blot of the last Masechta. I liked it so much that now I go to my Daf Yomi shir every morning, and then at night I hear your shir, and it's unbelievable how much more I get from every daf, especially your pictures, explanations. Your stories are the best. This is from Mexico City. He even writes Masechta, Mesejta. All right. It's the best thing that happened to me in a long time. Thank you. By the way, when my brother went to visit his daughter that just had a girl, he said to her, one less daughter-in-law. Jaja. Jaja. Moishi. I know. I'm just. Moishi Markovich from Mexico City. It's Tanchum Shel Hevel, he told him. I always say, check this out. This is I took this video myself a few months ago, and there's a follow-up to this. Here we go.
Hey guys, my name is Giddy Strauss, and I just started doing the daf with Bava Basra. It's probably the first time I picked up a Gemara in about 20 years. And I came to the daf very interesting. Probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit less, I saw somebody had the Art Scroll iPad. And I said, wow, that's amazing. So another friend reached out to me and they said, if you had the Art Scroll iPad, would you use it? And I said, I don't know, probably. And then Bava Basra started. That Friday, I got a FedEx package in the mail with an iPad. And it was an Art Scroll iPad. I opened it up and I said, wow, Art Scroll iPad. That's probably for the daf. Let me go look and see what the daf is. And lo and behold, it was Daf Beis of Bava Basra. So then I looked up and I said, how do I do the daf? So I went onto YouTube and I typed in, how do I do the daf? And up comes Rebelli. And poof, here you have it. We're in the daf now, and I'm doing the daf every day.
You like it?
I love it.
All right, thank you so much. I thought we should finish us together.
Amen.
All right. So here's the follow-up. Here he is, being Messiah. Meseches Bava Basra. Since it's never too late to celebrate a Siyum on Bava Basra, here is a picture of my brother Giddy Strauss, who had not opened up a safe in 20 plus years. Making a Siyum at the Muncie Firehouse after the monthly fire company meeting for Bava Basra. We had 12 firefighters finish the Masechta. 12 firefighters finished the Masechta, and so far 2 more have joined us for Bava Basra. Also, if anyone knows Moshe Des, this is not, and Yitzchak Smith, 2 Lakewood firefighters, please remind them that it's never too late to start the daf. Good Shabbos, Morty Strauss, Givaldic. And here is the sign in a fish store in Gimel over here. I just like this guy. He's singing. He comes, not this guy. The owner of the fish store comes to the shir a lot. I was so inspired by what you said on Daf Yud Zayin from Rav Shimshon Pincus about only. This is unbelievable. Rabbi said, listen to this mail. It's Givaldic. A guy took out his time to write this email. I was so inspired by what you said on Daf Yud Zayin from Rav Shimshon Pincus about only having a desire for Torah mitzvahs. So I canceled my trip to Masimara and threw out all my Chalav Stam foods. Shtaching me. He's shtaching me. He's trying to say the Magachir goes to Masimari and has a chutzpah to tell people, your Talmud anonymous Moe. So I shouldn't give other people mussar when I go to the safari. That's what he telling us. No. It's called kina. That's what it's called. But okay, we'll take it. I'll read it. I received this image from my close friend David, who was taken during his business trip to Miami. After a long day of work and dinner, he immediately went back to learn the daf. I explained to him what a pleasure it is doing the daf with Rebelli and got him to give it a try a few weeks ago with Bava Basra. He hasn't missed a day and is loving it. We stay in touch and ensure we don't fall behind. That's the side. Stay in touch with somebody new. Whether in business or at home, we always connect with the daily daf. Thank you, Rabbi, for making it so enjoyable and entertaining. Yaakov. This gave me a lot of chizuk. Rabbi, see, I just received this today. Custom amount, $500, dedication, bonus for Dave, who's been working double shifts in the booth. Somebody gave Dave $500, anonymous. Is this your first time seeing it? You deserve it. You deserve a lot more. But stop, a guy listening to the shir, unbelievable. Huh? You have to give meiser. When you win the lottery, you have to give meiser. Huh?
How did you know my bank account for me?
It's not big. It went to MDY. We're not going to give it to you. It's a dedication to you, but the money goes to me. All right, Rabbi said there's a lot more. I'll do the rest a different time. Here's Shimi Braun learning, and here's you literally changed my life. No, I didn't learn in brisk, and I've been learning the whole life. Okay, we'll do it a different time. We have a daf to do today.
You should give mice of the $500 today.
You don't tell me where I should give my meiser to. His money comes to me. Whatever happens to the meiser, it's a different story. Shkoyach, but thank you, appreciate it. I expect all the guys that work in the booth to give us their meiser. Avremi, whether you get a bonus or not, the meiser comes here. You understand? Okay. Rabbis are holding the Yut Tes. Easier dapim today. Mamish. Simple. Easy. The theme of today's daf, the reason why it's so simple is because we're going to ask some questions and say very similar answers. I think that's today's daf. Maybe I'm confused with yesterday's daf. Okay, so it goes like this. It says in the Mishnah. By the way, I don't even know if I should ask it as a question. I'll ask it as a question. Why not? It just came out from the daf as a side note from the daf. What changes, perhaps, if you eat potato chips that were deep fried instead of in regular oil in olive oil? Olive oil, deep fried, nice, soggy, deep fried potato chips. What would change? Anything different. So a funny thing would happen. You would have to wash your hands, l'chayra, because it's shemen zayis and it's nice and soggy. Maybe. Just throwing this out there. Anyway, it says like this. We're 2 lines from the top. Yutes Amud Aleph. Liluy nivreches hakoivsim. We're talking about doing laundry next to your neighbor's wall. Omer Rav Nachman, Omer Rabbi Baravua, lo yishonu elo min hamachamtza, aval min hanaidion arba amos. There are 2 vats that you would do your laundry. One is the really geschmacka one, the one that contains dog feces. That's geschmack. You put your clothes in there for 2 days. And there's another one that you rinse out the clothing. Which one has to be further away from the wall? The one that you rinse out, not the dog one. Why? Because the dog one, you put your clothing in there, you just let it sit. The other one, you have to squeeze it and rinse it and do all this stuff. And that could spread in your, here, this is Naidin. All the, okay, I don't want to say it out loud here because it's on YouTube. But yesterday there's a couple marks, whatever, they're gone. We made it legal. It's a legal picture now. Nadyon. There's a lot of water spraying around, and therefore it has to be a distance from the house, arba amos. Instead of 3 tfachim, this much, it has to be 8 feet away. And now we have a little bit of a freebie. It says that the pool for laundry is 4 amas. Oh, what about the 3 tfachim of our Mishnah? There's 2 types of pools. One is the soaking one, that could be 3 tfachim away. The other one is the rinsing one, that's 4 amas away. Big in the Rabban Miriam, so I'm asking a question. It's a contradiction. In one place it says 3 tfachim, another place it says 4 amas. It's Rav Nachman himself is answering. If we're already talking about laundry, we must say the story. Said a few times, it's a famous story. There's a woman in Yerushalayim who, after doing all her laundry, I don't know if they used dog excrements back in the day in Yerushalayim, but whatever she did, she hung all the laundry. And one of the neighbors was upset that she took a scissor and she cut the line, and all the clothing fell into the dirt. She had to restart. A few months later, something happened to her. She felt she has to ask Mechila. So she comes knocking on the door. And she told the husband that she came to ask Mechila because the husband had no idea. The wife that it happened to, the woman it happened to, she didn't tell her husband the story. She didn't say. And that woman was zoich later on to have Rabbi Yashiv. That's Rabbi Yashiv. Oh, so it happened in Chutz La'aretz. Was he really born in Chutz La'aretz? Where was he born? But he grew up in Yerushalayim. That's what he's a bacher. Where in Chutz La'aretz, do we know? Interesting. Okay, so it happened somewhere else.
Sponsors?
Oh, we have to do sponsors. Wow. All right, boys, I'm stopping here for a second. The Masechet sponsor for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. The Parnas HaChodesh last day. Nishmas Zechariah ben Moshe. Nishmas Chaya bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh. Refuat hanefesh and for Breina Bina bas Miriam Baila. Netanel Kalev ben Bracha. Ura Bracha and Ura Bracha bas Breina Bina. Parnas HaChodesh Moe Landy. Nishmas R Moshe ben Shmuel Yehuda, the Mashgiach of torah vodaas. Parnas HaChodesh Ahron Fraiman l'schus to rebellion for continuing siyadta dishmaya and teaching torah the klal yisroel. And Parnas HaChodesh l'fur Shleima Naftali Herz ben Hanefesh, a hidden tzaddik in our generation. Parnas HaYom l'fuas hachayal Avra Mordechai ben Yael. You should have l'fur Shleima. Zok the Gemara v'chein besid. No, did I say all this? Rav Chia bereder of Avia Masala behedya. Rav Chia says it in his Breisa exactly like we just learned. Only the mechamtzon, the soaker, that is shloishet tvachim. Meaning, if it's the rinser, that's 4 amas. We learned in the Mishnah v'sod basid. There's a vav, and the question is, we touched upon it a little bit. Tosfos, what the gear says, is it when do you have to distance? Very, very simple, Rabbi Isai. Very simple. Do you have to distance your well from your neighbor, from the borderline? Do you have to distance 3 tfachim and take another precaution and line the inside of the well with lime? Or it's one or the other. Distance 3 tfachim, or you can even come closer as long as you have a nice lining. Iboilu, visad basitnan, oy dilma oy basitnan. Is it either or it's both? Says Gemara Pshita, the visad basitnan. It's both. It says very pashut. Here we go. It says in the Mishnah, Lo yachbar adam bar shiach. Whoever's clicking over there, maybe put it on mute or something. Elo imkein hirche gimel tfachim v'chein v'gimel v'sad basid. The Sefer of the Mishnah says oy sad basid. It says u'achikim s'hagefes v'shazavel. You have to distance the pits of the olives and the manure, gimel tfachim, and it says mefurish oy sad basid. So the Gemara says a very simple thing. If the right side, the reisha, is oy sad basid, and the second part is oy sad basid, they're saying the same exact thing in one Mishnah. So just make one long list and say at the end oy sad basid. Must be that the first part is different than the second part. The first part is the and the second part is or. Okay? Simple enough? Do I have to repeat that? Says the Gemara. Dilma. No, not a good raya. Dilma mishundalei dami hayazekel hayazekel. Perhaps these 2 boxes, the right and the left, are 2 different categories. And that's why, no, perhaps it says the same exact thing in both. They both say oy sod basid. You ask me how come it doesn't say it once? Why do you need to say it twice in one Mishnah? The answer is because they're different categories. Reisha hazeka de misuna. The first is a whole category, a box full of things that is damage from moisture. Seifa Zeiko Dahavla is damage that's caused by heat, and therefore it makes sense. The different categories, so they end off with the same lashon, Oi Sod Basid. So no raya if it's Ve or Oi. Tashma. We had this yesterday. You have very soft dirt that you're able to dig with your hands. You don't need even tools. It's very soft. So it says that each neighbor digs and has to distance himself 3 tfachim. He has to do 2 things. First, he has to distance himself 3 tfachim and a layer of lime. And the Gemara says, but that's only in this specific case because it's very soft. So you need to take 2 precautions. Time at the Bava Basra. If it's regular dirt, not soft dirt, you don't have to take a second precaution. So the Gemara did not forget the no. In any case, you have to do 2 precautions. You have to distance 3 tefachim plus a layer of lime. So then why does it say specifically it's soft dirt? Like the same chiddush we had yesterday. I would think that you have to distance yourself more than 3 tefachim because it's so soft. Maybe you're going to damage your neighbor even 5 tefachim away, or soften his whole property up. 3 tefachim is enough. No answer. You have to distance things that cause damage from heat, such as the olive pits. We said it's fuel. Zevel is certainly fuel even today. Melach, slime. Not awesome. It says in Masechta Shabbos, "Bamet toimnim ubamoin toimnim." What could you cover your food with erev Shabbos? So we give a list. Whoever is clicking their device, please either turn it off or put it on mute. Bamet toimnim ubamoin toimnim. What could you bury your food with, and what can't you? We're talking about things that are moisef hevel, things that have a little bit more heat, that add a little heat to the food. Before Shabbos, erev Shabbos, you're not allowed to cover it with something that's moisef hevel. So here's the list. Let me show you the list. If you look by us, I double clicked. Our list is on the right. Shabbos is on the left. If you look, it's almost the same exact thing, word for word. Umarchikim by us, it's a gefes, in Shabbos is gefes. Then comes zevel, in Shabbos is zevel. Melach, lem melach, sid. All in the bottom, it's different. By us it says slime, flintstones. Here's a picture. This is what the article says it is, flintstones. It's like what you use in a lighter. It's moisef hevel. And in Masechta Shabbos, it doesn't talk about slime, it doesn't talk about flintstones, it talks about sand. How come by us it doesn't say sand? And how come in Shabbos it doesn't say slime? That's the whole difference. What? Why not? Oh, that's exactly what the Gemara answers. Did you see the daf before? Okay, you're saying it's Svar Pshuta. There's even a better answer than that, maybe. Maybe they're so strong, they'll break your kli. Okay, anyway, very good. He's mecham to the Gemara's answer. We have to Tamid Chacham. Some people are mecham to Rishonim, some are mecham to Tanaim and Amoraim. It's all Gevaldik. Says Gemara Tanah, some bemet toivnim, bemet toivnim, ein toivnim, loy begefes, v'loy bezevel, v'loy bemelach, v'loy besid, v'loy bechol. Over there it says sand. Bein lach and bein invasion, whether they're moist or dry. How come by us it says stones and not dirt? Well, he still didn't answer the dirt part. How come by us it doesn't say sand? How are you going to cover a pot with a bunch of stones? The heat is going to escape. Abai is Talmud, right? It's not the derech. As a Baila, but it doesn't go by what the derech is. Why? Have here. This is a lashon shell, maybe tchelas, not argamon, but this is a lashon, right? It's a tongue of wool. Nobody really covers their pots with this stuff, this anya, but it's brought down in Shabbos, even things that are not the derech. Says Rashi, you take old clothing, you comb it down, and you reuse it. This on Shabbos, Rabbi says muktzah. This muktzah machzor gufa has no use on Shabbos. You can't make clothing from it, so it's muktzah. So yes, you're permitted to bury your food erev Shabbos in this stuff, but you can't touch it on Shabbos. How exactly do you take the food out? That's a different story. Elar Baila, Yagid olav reyai. Very simple. Let's go back to this thing. By us it says rocks. So I'm going to learn to the green. Shabbos also has stones. By us we have sand, and by them in Shabbos they have stones. We're going to learn one from the other. In other words, there's one item missing from both lists. We'll learn one Masechta to the other Masechta. If that's the case, first of all, I just want to show you, this is burying a fish in salt. But as Rava, let's say, do this. It should say by us. End the story. You have to, one out of the whole list. Put the whole entire list in Masechta Shabbos. And I'm going to take that whole list and say, obviously, whatever's in Masechta Shabbos goes to us. We're talking about heat, things that are here, we're also heat. I think what Rav is saying is it doesn't make sense to miss one item. You have a whole list, and one item you're going to take away. Take off the whole list, and that makes more sense. We'll just learn from one from the other. Again, I think we're not familiar with this, but if somebody's learning something about Peh, and he has to memorize a whole list of things, you're in Cheder, you're in 5th grade, and you have to memorize this. Isn't it easier to memorize just one thing? And you'll know the entire list from Masechta Shabbos. Why all these extra words? I'll tell you pshat. The reason why in Masechta Shabbos it doesn't say stones, we go back to the list. Where's that list? It doesn't say stones in Masechta Shabbos. They could break the pot. Nobody uses flintstones for Shabbos, because if you leave it in there too long, what kind of pot do you have in those days? Whatever pot, I don't know what the material they used. It wasn't very strong and it will burst. Why does it say sand? Because sand in itself is not moisef hevel. You go to the beach on a hot day, you can't step on the sand. Why? Because it was heated up by the sun. On the flip side, you can take the same sand, and it could be, basically it's like a thermos. Whatever you put in there, it'll keep hot, and it might even add, it itself becomes hot, and it'll give back a little bit. But it itself doesn't have any characteristics of heat or cold. So Meila, it's not a big deal to put a pile of sand by your friend's wall. It's not going to do anything to your friend's wall. In itself is not dangerous. So I saw Reb Zilberstein brings over here, it's a Shiloh. You have two Rabbanim for a position. One is a huge Talmud Chacham. The other one will call him a Chassid. Yeah? Because this Chassid meaning he's a very varm guy. Geshmak, varm. But he's not a tremendous Talmud Chacham. The other guy is a Kalta Litvak. He knows Kol HaTorah Kula, but he's Kalt. Which one she use as a rabbi? Huh? There's no other options. This is in Hawaii. There's two options right now, A and B. Kasha v'maisa. It's on the moon. On the moon. There's zero options. Only both of them landed there. The whole shas is about this. You ask me now you wake up. There's no other options. What if? So it says in the Gemara Bava Basra. No, he brought it from a sefer. A fracted the anya. That's the question. He brings from here that the rav has to be like sand. If a guy has a little bit of varmkeit, so the rav makes him even varmer. It's all about adding warmth to neshama. And I'm just adding, but if you're a kalta litvak, you might make him colder. Whatever. It's like current. So of course you go with the varmer guy. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Shaya, who wrote the Brisa? Rabbi Shaya, Rabbi Chia. In his Brisa, it's brought down. Let me see. I think here. This is what his Brisa would look like. Something like this. It's Umarchikim, our Mishnah, but in a Brisa. This is slime. Rabbi Shai said you can't put dirt, sand next to your friends, next to your neighbor's wall. According to you, you could because sand is not dangerous. It's not going to cause any harm. It's not a material that we have to be careful with. But Rabbi Shai says you do have to. Says Gemara, I'll tell you why he puts it in his Brisa. Hasan b'mesuna, because it's moist. Says Gemara, so our Mishnah also should say sand which is moist. Says Gemara, we already talk about moisture. Here, amas hamayim, different moisture, this way, that way. Says Gemara, it says if one moisture is enough, so then why does it talk about laundry? Laundry is also about water hitting the wall. Different types of water. Each one has a massive chiddush. So if you were to read the Gemara as is without looking at Rashi or the Art Scroll or something, what would it mean to you? Kviya. Kviya. The water is kviya. It's permanent, it's there. That's what it means, right? No, says Rashi, no. Talking about the profession of the person. Yes, when it comes to Amas Hamayim, it's there. What do you mean it's loy kaviyas? I thought, okay, the vat, you move from here to there. No, says Rashi, loy kaviyah. Maybe he's going to find another job. He won't do laundry anymore. The water for the field, you need this water there. That it has to stay there forever. How else are you going to get water to the field? But laundry, maybe somebody else will do the laundry down the block. It doesn't need to be, okay. And if it's only talk about the laundry of a launderer, and this I wasn't sure about the science. Maybe somebody can help me out here. Mishum the klal v'kaimi. Water that's stagnant in one place, that's in one area, what's going to happen? Water seeks to escape, to go to the lowest place, it'll leave. When we have a river that keep the water move, Shalom Aleichem, look who's here, I didn't even chap. So our guest from Manchester is here, only for 2 weeks, right? Chas v'shalom, you're going to stay. You have to stay here. You're right. I'm thinking about our guest from Manchester. All of a sudden he disappeared for how long? 2 years? 3 years. You got hello. When you leave for 3 years, you got to ask permission. And where? And to where? To Manchester. That's a Pella. That's already, huh? No. He has the whole story with his daughter. She got sick in Corona. Yeah, he has reasons. Okay. What happened? Listen to what the Gemara says here. I don't know. To me, what? That's how it is. Water that's in constantly flows. Like a river, it doesn't go to the side. To me, I would think the opposite. It's so much water, there's always water. I don't know. But a pool, something that's in one place, that goes to the side. Okay. I'm not going to argue. So here's the, just to remind the Olam, are you going to click or I'm going to click? Because if we both click, okay, you got it. You have to distance your plow from the wall 3 tfachim. And also when you seed it, you have to distance yourself 3 tfachim. Now the Gemara is just going to ask, isn't that the same thing? Why else would you plow? Because you want to seed. Why else would you seed? Because you plow. It's all, they're one and the same. Zraim, how do you even plow? How do you even put your seeds down? Yeah, obviously how to use a plow over there, and that's also to use. So you never even got to this position that you could seed. Says Gemara, yeah, sometimes you don't use a real professional machine. You use a little tool, a little shovel, a baby shovel with your hand, and you go like this to the dirt. Like in your, I don't know, you have a little garden that's next to your neighbor. So you go like this. You don't go down 3 tefach. You go down 1 tefach or something. So that's also a problem because you're putting down seeds, and those seeds are going to destroy your neighbor's wall. Machreisha, you can't use a plow, but you can't even seed over there. Says Gemara, no, b'charshli lanais. I want to plow not because I'm seeding. I'm plowing because I need it for my trees. What about the fact we just had a whole list of things you can't do because of moisture? Anything that causes damage to your neighbor's wall with moisture, the koives. So I'm not allowed to take a hose and water my garden that's next to my neighbor's wall. It's going to ruin his wall. Says Gemara, Tano, Beretz Yisrael kai. We're talking about in Eretz Yisrael. The Matar Shamayim Tishtamayim. In Eretz Yisrael, you don't need water. I challenged Doilam last night. Doilam thought I was right. What other country, when a lake in the middle of the country goes up by 1 centimeter, the whole place is dancing with joy? It's top headline in the newspaper. The Kinneret went up 1 centimeter. No, you heard? No, I think it's 1.5. It's 2. Last year was different. It's mamish simcha g'dayla. No rain over here. So you don't, okay. Says Gemara, Lamemra the Zraim, Daf Yomi Amud Beis, Litzdadim Kamishtarshi. Let's just do the sponsors. Let's get it out of the way real quick, so we can do a real sugya. Turning of the Daf sponsor of the live share community, protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. So, what does it say? You can't plant, like in this thing, you cannot plant 3 tefachim next to the wall. Why? Because when you plant, what happens? The roots go and they make a nice little turn, and they'll go under the wall and they'll weaken the wall. So that means that the roots of a plant make unexpected turns in different directions. Because if it went straight down in my property, how would it ruin your wall? So now we have a beautiful sugya. Votnan hamavrich is hagefen ba'aretz ein im ein al gaba offer shloisha tfachim lo yavi zero leha. It's very, very pashut. We know that klei kerem is shnayim keneged shnayim, v'zanav and one kenegda, a zanav kenegda. Meaning, this is not important to the sugya. I'm just throwing it out there because why not? In order to be over on planting vegetables or wheat together with the vineyard, you have to have a vineyard, and a vineyard is 5 vines, 5 trees. What if you only have 1? So 1 has a different halacha. 1, you cannot do it above. So it says like this. Check this out. I just want to show you. This is the art school picture. Okay? Obviously, we're not going with that one. So this is Eli's picture, and we're not going with that one either. Mavrich means you take a vine from a vineyard, from a grape, and you put it into the ground. You put part of it into the ground, and as you see over here, it starts rooting the part and then it pops out another thing. Why is it called mavrich? Because if you remember this, because like a knee. Okay, and let me show you what Yoshi did. I think it's a little better. Here we go. Oh, but what you see over here, see this arrow right over here? Right above that part that goes into the ground, do not plant your little vegetable over there, right above it. Here, like this. Let me just go out. You cannot do this. Okay, that would be also why? Because the roots of the vegetable go straight down and hit the vine. That's also, clear. But if it's like this, it's a little bit to the side, it's mutter. Why is it mutter? Let's say 3 tvachim, 6 tvachim, according to Rekiva, 3 tvachim away. But why is 3 tvachim away? When you put it in the ground, the root is going to take a right turn, a left turn, and it's going to go within 3 tvachim of the vine. That should be awesome. You see from here that the roots go straight down, and they don't go to the side. And if it goes straight down, so how come in our sugya we're concerned about planting next to a wall? If it goes straight down in my property, how does it affect your wall? V'tani Allah. You could do this. You could plant to the side of the vine, 3 tvachim away from the vine. Real quickly, there was a Shever Brachas where every drasha, in ve'agefen, v'in ve'agefen, and then the Marshal says this, and the Vilna Gaon says that. So one of the guests says, I want to say a few words. He says, I'm a chaklai. All I do the whole day is I work with grapes. And I want to tell you my pshat. In ve'agefen, he said, there's only one tree in the world that when you look at it, you have no idea where it begins and ends. You don't know. You look at it, it's all one. He says that's the bracha, that the chassan and kala should be one. They should be mechuber like a geffen. Okay, fine. I happened not to be there at the time. The pshat is like this. The reason why you're not allowed to plant next to your property, because they weaken your soil. And the dirt starts moving. And because of that, the wall is going to fall down. If you look around in Bet Shemesh, you'll see plenty of these walls that are built by people that don't really know how to build walls. They know how to dig under walls, tunnels and stuff like that. They're not very good at wall building. And you'll see sometimes they just fall, these walls that these, between buildings, the ones on the sidewalks. So they're just built in the air. They don't really come with like real foundations. And if it erodes with water, they fall. There's one in Hay that is 200 feet long. The whole thing fell down. That's what happens. Because it's ma'lofer tichayach. And I just want to show you this. This is, why is it called Avracha? I put it in here. Why not? We have a few minutes. This is because it comes from the harkava, a grafting. And I thought this is a very cool video of how grafting works. It's the same idea of putting the vine into the ground. If anybody ever wondered how it's done, it's very cool. Make a double slit. You put a little masking tape on, and another 3 weeks later, and it starts growing Givaldik. Okay. Zok the Gemara. Vesmei reglaim and akoyz shloish tvachim. You have the distance urine. Mei reglaim from a wall 3 tvachim. Omer Rabbi Bar Bechana mutar la'adam lahashtem mayim b'tzad koyz l'shechaveiroi. This is what we thought, that you have to distance. You can't relieve yourself by a wall. No, you're allowed to. In fact, I just want to remind the Olam, one of the greatest stories in all of Shas. The Gemara says in B'chayres Daf Memdal that you're permitted to relieve yourself in public. It's not a problem with tznius. The Gemara goes on to say that the famous Amoira, Shmuel, the Amoira, was on a bridge and he relieved himself in front of everybody. So somebody told him, your mother-in-law is coming. So he said, let me relieve myself in her ear. That's what he said. Ear. In the ear. Talking about ears, it's a pella de gezach. Because I just thought about it now. Yeah. Trump got shot in the ear. And they say that it's the exact same second that I said it in the shir last night. The story with Shmuel. No, I just thought about it now. Zog the Gemara. Vesmei reglaim and akoyz shloish tvachim. What?
Was it his mother?
No. His mother was nifter. No, she's gone. No, it's not his mother. Whoever shot him is dead now. Vesmei reglaim and akoyz shloish tvachim. Omer Rabbi Chana mutar la'adam lahashtem mayim b'tzad koyz l'shechaveiroi. D'chsiv. V'chrati la'achav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm going to destroy Achav. He had 70 children, 70 boys. Children, boys. V'chrati la'achav mashtim bakir. I'm going to destroy all his male children, mashtim bakir, those who relieve themselves on a wall. So you see, it's a normal thing to relieve yourself on a wall. V'atzur v'azav yisroel. As a side note, Achav was convinced and he changed his ways by marrying Izebel. Izebel, the day that they got married, she already got him into the Zara and everything else. And the end was this crazy story, all his children, everything, he lost everything. On the flip side, you have Barak. Barak the Gemara says he was an Amaretz. But his wife, Dvaira, Eishes Lapido, according to one shot, she made those wicks. And she said, take these wicks, bring them to the Beis HaMikdash. Her idea was that if he brings them, delivers them to the Beis HaMikdash, he'll become mushba from the Kedusha and the Beis HaMikdash. He went there, he delivered it, and he became a great man because his wife gave him that push. You should tell your wives, keep on pushing. We got to come to the daf. How could Rabbi Bar Chana say that you're allowed to relieve yourself by a wall when it says Mefurish in the Mishnah? You have to distance yourself 3 tvachim. Says the Gemara, Hasam b'shoifchim. Let's talk about shoifchim. Meaning, it was a whole pot to pour it in one shot. I'll tell you a story. I don't like saying over the story, but it's one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. There was it was before I was giving shir, and I was looking for chesed, things of chesed. So I was taking this woman to the hospital for treatments and everything, and somebody said, "Oh, you're such about chesed. I have a chesed for you." There's an individual who can't make it. He's taking I never even heard about this. A 7-day urine sample, meaning every time he relieves himself, he has to go into this big vat, like one of these, gasoline. You go to the store, you buy a gallon or two of gasoline. That's what it was. A jerry can. Could you please deliver this to the lab in Yerushalayim? Okay, no problem. So I go, he's in this bag with the jerry can in it. I go to Yerushalayim. I go to there's a tower there, Wolfson Towers, there's a lab in the bottom. I get into the elevator, a bunch of people, and all of a sudden, I feel everything is wet. I look down, I cannot believe my eyes. I'm sitting in a puddle. Basically, they put the jerry can in sideways. The cover was off. The whole thing spilled on me. And all I remember is, I don't know, it's like, and there's 10, 15 people in this elevator, grocery store over there, it's a whole, and I'm in a puddle, and my pants are just soaking wet. And this firm guy holding 2 bags says, it's okay, it happens. I'm holding a jerry can. He says, no, it's Beseder. He's calming me down. Oh, the bezyainus. And I was concerned that this guy's gonna have to start over, another 7-day thing. It wasn't my sample, I'm telling you that. But I went there, I went to and they said, no, it's okay. It's a mix of the whole 7. Don't worry, there's a little bit left on the bottom, that'll be enough. But I'm thinking, this is the shayfchim. Well, how did it happen to shayfchim? The guy had a jerry can and he poured it on the wall or something. That is a problem. But a one-timer on the wall is not a big deal. Says the Gemara, Tashma. You guys never heard that story? I never said in shir? Oh, wow. It's not shkematoya. Maisa shehaya. I got home. I had a whatever. I wasn't wearing all my clothing when I went home. They take this out. Okay, we just read it. Tashma. You should not relieve yourself. You have to distance yourself 3 tvachim. Why again? Rabbi Isai, I might have misspoken the other day. It's not the chemical composition of the urine. It happens to be moisture. You're not allowed to pour water on the wall. That's man-made bricks. But if it's stones, enough that it shouldn't distance yourself enough that it shouldn't damage. How much? You don't need 3 tvachim. Even 1 tefach is enough. If it's a real, how do you say, not a rock that's built on other rocks, mutter, it's not going to damage anything. As the Gemara, to the Rabbi Bar Chana says you're allowed to relieve yourself by a wall. And over here it says you have to distance yourself a tefach and more by Levanim 3 to Yufta. It's a bomb kasha. As the Gemara of Rabbi Bar Chana Krokamar, he brings from Machav that Baruch says you destroy every one of your children. Instead of saying children, it says Mashlim Bakir. He calls the male children those who relieve themselves by the wall. That's normal. No, we're not talking about children. I'm going to destroy everything, even a creature that relieves himself by the wall, which is Umayniu Kalba. I'm going to destroy everything, even your dogs, certainly your children. But it's not referring to children, it's talking about a dog. So it's not a normal thing for a human being, according to this, to relieve himself by a wall. Gewaldig. It goes like this, very, very simple. Let's start from Tumas oil, for the beginners. Tumas oil means, if there's a dead person, here's Yossi Klein, I think he's coming one of these days. When is he coming? This week. Yossi Klein goes into a room, he's green, he's tar, and there's a dead person in the room. See, you don't have to touch a dead person. Just being in the room with a dead person, you become Tameh. Why? Because it's in that same room. What if you have 2 rooms, another room next to this room? Obviously, the other room is not Tameh. What if there's a window to pass things through like this? There's a window. And there's a tefach by a tefach in the window. And there's a dead person in the room. Does the tumah go through? Yes. What if in the window, as you can see here, it's not very clear, but there's a red brick on the bottom. So now you don't have a tefach by tefach. It's less than a tefach. The halacha is that the tumah does not go through the window and make the other room tamei. Let's just see how it works. Here, this room is red because it's tamei. This room remains non-red. Why? Because there's a brick in the window. What about if there's not a brick but a pancake? You see that? There's a waffle. Take a waffle and you put it over there on the window. Does the tumah pass through? Is it considered like a brick? I just lessened. The answer is no, because you might want to eat that waffle. The waffle's not going to remain in that window. So therefore, we disregard the waffle completely. Anything that you're going to remove right away, then what happens? Check this out. If we're looking at it from this way, the tumah goes right through, and the other room becomes red and tamei. Says the Gemara like this: Omar Shmuel Rokik a wafer, a waffle, a pancake does not make the window smaller. It's like the Gemara Ma'iri Rokik. Why pancake? Afilu avanami, even a birthday cake. Says the Gemara Levibai Kamar. Levibai Avel, certainly a birthday cake. Given the chazilei, since it's something that you want to eat, lemevatalei, then it doesn't close up the window. Avarok, you don't have to close up the window. You just have to make it less than one tefach, by one tefach. Avarok, the mimis. You put a waffle on a wall. In those days, you're talking about a concrete wall, concrete or whatever it is, line. It has moisture to it. So now you have a pretty disgusting waffle, a waffle that has this moisture. Emo batuli mevatale, komash malon. I just thought about something, but he's gone. Our Benny did an unbelievable job for the Hebrew Siyum. It was in this place called Mitzpeh Masoah. Mitzpeh Masoah. Masua, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you said, that's where we were. It was gorgeous. Mom is beautiful and it was a nice oilam. But one problem, it was very, very humid. And when you came to eat your challah, it was literally like mice. It got soaked in water. What's going on here? That's the electric? One light? Oh, okay. I thought the whole electric or something. No, it's just, it just happened. I had, I don't know if I ever, I guess, yeah, but a soggy challah roll. It's not geschmack. So who wants a soggy waffle? Not good. So you think he would leave it there forever, and therefore it will close off the window. Kamash will not. Says the Gemara, anything that in itself could accept tumah, become tummy itself, it doesn't close off a window. It has to be something that's not mekabel tumah. And so this pancake is mekabel tumah because it's food. So nothing. It's not going to be chaytzit. Says the Gemara, shenilosh b'mei peiros. Let me just show you this real quickly because it's very important, especially for Yoel. The two Yoels are here. I got to show you. In order for food to become tamei, it has to be mukhshir lekabel tumah. So if an apple's on a tree, mukhshir lekabel tumah means you have to purposely put water on it. Otherwise, the food does not become tamei. So here it's on a tree. Even if it became wet and a person that's tamei touches it, it's locked. It does not become tamei because it's on a tree. Once you remove it from the tree and you touch it, it doesn't become tamei. A fruit does not become tamei. When does it become tamei? Only when you wet it. Now it turns into purple. It's susceptible to tumah. Now if a person touches it, it becomes red, it becomes tamei. That's mukhshir lekabel tumah. Says the Gemara, this pancake was not made with water. You like it? Now you know what mukhshir lekabel tumah is, right? Gevaldik. So this pancake was only contact with apple juice, not with water. And memela, well, today apple juice is 90% water, so it could be it's a different thing. I don't know. Okay, that's something else. Meisvei. Kupa malei teven v'chavis malei gregors. You have a box full of straw and a keg full of figs. Hamunachim echaloin, also in the window. So we have a picture. Let's see. It continues. Here. So you have a keg. This keg is full of figs. And you have a box. The straw is not the greatest in this picture, but this box has straw, believe me. Now, The box itself is Mikabel Tuma. So that doesn't make the window smaller. What could make the window smaller? The tev and the straw. So how do I know if it makes the window smaller? It says like this: if you remove the box, because the box is worthless for us, because it's Mikabel Tuma, so remove the box. If the straw doesn't fall down on the floor like this, Rabbi Yisai, if the straw remains in one place, then it's chaytzitz, the tum doesn't go through. Says the Gemara by tev and chazil be'emtoi. But I need this straw for my animal. Besaria, it's rotten. Chazil tina, I can make cement with it. What's the worst thing that could happen to a human being when he gets up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and he's barefoot? What's the worst thing that can happen? Step on Lego. There's nothing worse, right? There is one worse thing. This beikaitze, it has a bunch of thorns in it. Because the way they would make the cement was they would step on the straw into the thing. You can't step on it barefoot if it has thorns. Chazila saka, I can use it for firewood. But mesuna, it's moist, you can't use it for firewood. Chazila segadol, but if it's a giant fire, I could use it. Has a gadol Mashgiach. Says Gemara, but what about a keg full of figs? I want to eat the figs. How does that prevent the tumah from going from room to room? Or Shmuel, we're talking about figs that are not edible, they're full of worms. Rabbi, have a wonderful day.